Hello, hello, hi, folks. Welcome. Happy Saturday. In hopes that you squeezed more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. Welcome. I know it's late and it's actually 1 o'clock in the morning here in California. As you're joining me live, this got to be T Money. I don't know who joined. I wish Facebook would be consistent with, yes, it is Team Money. It is Sunday. What can I say? So today I wasn't on social media pretty much the whole day. I wasn't even on my phone pretty much all day. I had some errands to run. I had just some stuff to do in the morning. Then I got my routine of cleaning the house, and that's kind of my routine on Saturdays. I clean and and it was my dad's 82nd birthday. Yeah, thank you. 82nd birthday. And I tell you something, if you see my parents, some of you have seen my parents. If you see my parents and then you see me, you'd be like, were you adopted? Because they don't look anything like their age, like literally. I'm not even kidding with you. They my mom could pass by in her 60s, late 60s. So can my dad, like literally. Like I have more wrinkles on my skin than my parents. I'm not even kidding. I have more health issues than my parents combined. I've always had more health issues than them. And it's kind of funny because the doctors were asking me, hey, how are your parents? I'm like, great. I'm the one who's got all the health issues, yeah, so I digress. But it was my dad's, but there's a story to this, right? So it was my dad's 82nd birthday. And I had him and my mom come over, right? Come over to my pad. And it's funny because my aunt just went to Iran. And they were here last Sunday. My aunt, her son, my cousin, his wife, and 2 kids, and my parents were here last Sunday. And then my aunt went to Iran. So today I would have had, them over too. But so a couple things. He did have a good birthday. Thank you, Money. And a couple of things that I noticed, right? Just kind of a couple thoughts about this past 12 months since his 81st to today, right? 82nd, so this past year. One thing I noticed is that not everybody's going to be around that cake every year. People change around your cake. Last year, there were more people here. Last year, my girl was here. I had a girl. I had a job. My health was better, maybe, right? And in a year, things have really changed. Yeah, it's like, oh man. Okay, so I don't do sweets, and I'm not like cake and pastry person. But if I do something like that, my thing is cheesecake. I would love cheesecake. And there's a couple cakes I like, but very rare. I'm not really a big pastry guy. As a Persian, that's kind of rare too. But man, he got this cheesecake from 85 degrees. I don't know if you have it out there. Man, it was bomb. I have like one slice of like maybe this, not even kidding, like this thin, because everybody knows I don't do cake and stuff. Even for my own birthday, I'm not in a cake thing. But so I noticed that people around your cake are not going to be the same. they're going to change. Last year there was a lot more celebration, music. There were more people here. Actually, we had it here too. We had it here. I don't know if I had it here or their house, but there were more people there, cake and video. And, this year was just me, my mom, and my dad. So people around your cake every year could change, right? Now, here's the thing. Time goes, right? And things change. Seasons change and the weather changes, and you get older, I get older, he gets older, we all get older, right? And things just change. Those things change because they're on autopilot, because they're supposed to change. Like, you can't stop the season and say, whoa. You know what? I really like the summer, so let's just stick around in the summer season. You can't do that. It's gonna change. Whether you pray and, whatever you do, it's gonna change. Some things change because they're on autopilot. They just have to evolve in order to things to move forward. Those things change because they have to, and because they're on autopilot. We don't change because we don't want to. I'll let that sink in. We don't change because we don't want to. We're not on autopilot. We're not like the seasons. We don't just change. We age. Very different. But we don't change. Our behaviors don't change. Our patterns don't change. Our values, principles, routines don't change. But some things change. And then we complain when they change. Oh, I'm getting older. Oh, it's winter again. Oh, right? We complain about the things that are changing on autopilot because they have to, because things just have to evolve. We complain about those things, but we completely forget about the things we got to change ourselves. We pay no attention to that stuff. I think that's interesting. Like today when I was, I made dinner and I should probably post the dinner, huh? Who wants to see what I made? I did take a video. But it was interesting because I'm watching him. I like watching people and kind of observing. I'm watching him, I'm watching my mom, I'm taking some pictures and just kind of, absorbing, and we're just having some food, and then we watched the movie. And it's just interesting, right? Isn't it? I think it's very interesting because, like, okay, so I'll tell you what, I'll tell you this. This is one thing that I've done for years on my birthday. And I don't think I've ever shared this on a live. Ever. Never shared this. So I don't think anybody actually knows. I actually don't think anybody knows. I've never shared this with anybody, I don't think. So here's what I do on my birthdays. I guess that's been a secret, right? So for a few moments, I like to sit down and really take some time to myself. And I like to go back every year on my birthday and remember what I did that year. I know that sounds crazy. So for example, like I'm 49, I'm going to be 50 in a couple months, right? Oh my goodness. So I'm going to be 50. So what I do, I sit there and I go back 49 years. Now, granted, some of the years I'm not going to remember, obviously, but most 99% of the years I remember. And I like that. I like going back and saying, oh, that year, yeah, I did that. Oh my goodness, that year. Like that. So I go back and I like to revisit, like for a second. And I did that tonight for my dad, right? And I'm like what I was sharing. It's just interesting. People change, cakes change, things change. Why? Why would you forget them? I've had some. I've had some decent ones. Okay, I've had some decent ones. I've had some good ones. Not a lot of good ones, but I've had some good ones. And then I've had some crappy ones. I've had some crappy ones for sure. For sure, I've had some crappy ones. And for example, I don't ever forget somebody broke up with me on my birthday. You want to know what year? My 40th. How crappy is that? So I've had some of that. I've had one that stands out the most, like, right? So I like to go back and revisit this, right? And you go back and you revisit like the people around you, the cake, the gifts, the styles, all this stuff. And I think it's interesting. Like I said, some things are on the autopilot, and they just change automatically by themselves. Like you can't stop it; just changes, right? But some things that we gotta change, we like totally free. I love that. We like totally forget. Like we just start complaining about everything else. So I thought that was interesting. I thought that's interesting because I just think that's interesting. We would complain about the changes that are on autopilot, the things that just happen and have to happen, right? And then we completely overlook the stuff we gotta like work on ourselves, like the changes we gotta make within, right? I thought that's interesting. That's one. And the second thing is, nothing lasts forever. Tying back to the change, things change. People go, people come, situation changes, homes changes. I like to go back and like remember the places I was. I kind of like that, like my own places, other places, So for a long time, I had a tradition that on my birthday, I would go to Las Vegas by myself for like 2-3 days. And I don't gamble, so I just go and I'd club and I'd shop and just hang out by the pool. Really, that's all I did for 2-3 days because it would always fall on Labor Day weekend. So that's my birthday, right? So like I like doing that. But like I said, it's kind of different now. I'm looking and it's like, man, people change, people come, people go, things come, things go, styles come, styles go, things just happen. Like if you take a movie and put it on time elapsed and it just took a year worth of film, you'd like see things just change automatically. And then, like I said, I'm going to repeat it and I'm going to end it with this. I don't know why I'm circling, but maybe it's because it's 1 o'clock in the morning. But we just completely forget about this stuff. We got to change inside for like the next birthday. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I'll leave you with this. But it's not even my birthday, so why I'm talking about my birthday. But I'll give you this. So I remember like my birthday when I turned 30 very vividly, okay? I remember my birthday when I turned 20 very vividly. And I remember when I turned 40 vividly, right? And I remember the decades I not the time when I turned 20, but the time I turned 30 and 40, I was in extreme shape, like just ridiculous shape. Okay. So I always walked into the next decade. I tried to improve. That was my thing. I would try to improve for the next 10 years and walk into the next decade as an improved person. This decade, I'm having, some issues, obviously, but I don't want to walk into that without that change. I don't want to do that. That's why I'm going to the gym. I'm dragging myself to the gym if I have to. That's why I've changed a lot of things. I'm doing things differently because I don't want to walk into that decade without a change. Everything else around me is changing except me. Big thing. Hopefully you guys got some love. I gotta go to sleep. Hopefully you guys got some love, some inspiration, some value. I'm gonna sleep in tomorrow. I just am. That's just what I'm gonna do. Hopefully you guys get some love out of this. I just freestyle it. I was taking some notes and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna freestyle it because it's just interesting. But yeah, that's like the first thing that if I had a list, I'm putting a list of wisdom thoughts, right? Like the first thing I would say is just like, know that nothing's gonna last forever. Good, bad, good, evil, love. It's not forever, right? So again, some things are on autopilot. Maybe we should join that stuff, in some ways. If you thought this was good stuff, you like to share it, share it. Do what you gotta do. My 21st was lame. I bought beer for me and my underage friend. Dude, I turned 2 in the hospital and I turned 21 in the hospital. I remember vividly. Yeah. So I remember 21 and 2 pretty, which is weird because when you're 2, you usually don't remember that. But I do remember, now I don't remember if this was on my birthday or not, but I know that I was getting treated for my kidney cancer at 2 in the hospital when I turned 2 in the hospital. So I don't know if that was the day I was having surgery. My parents don't obviously know that, but or they haven't told me that. I don't know if that was a day or not, but that I remember. One thing I do remember is I remember crying and kind of screaming as a child, and I remember pulling my arm back because I remember the nurse was putting a needle for an IV in my arm, and I was screaming, and I was 2, I remember, and I was pulling my arm and I was screaming and crying. So that's the only thing I remember. So that was my recollection of 2, right? And then there's a few years that I don't remember, and then most of the later years obviously I remember. But yeah, so anyway, yes. Yes, thankfully you never did. I appreciate that about you, thank goodness. Well, hopefully you guys got some love, some inspiration. This is way more than I was going to talk at 1 o'clock in the morning. But hey, it was kind of like, I kind of poured my heart out in a way, I feel like. I could go on about this topic for a long time because it's just interesting. But anyway, we'll cut it off right here, right now. And remember, until tomorrow, or well, later today, when we do it all over again. Much love.